know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Gianlutis, and guys, we have another incredible special guest for you today. Someone that I haven't seen since high school, and we came across each other the other day in the gym, and something sparked right there where we knew we can get a video out to you. Guys, I give you John Conway. John is someone that I've been able to grow up with, but I've seen him grow so much in the last few years. He's changed his life around. He's reached so many new levels of success, and he's doing it in his own right. And he's such an avid reader that we wanted to depict this message to you today to see how John has succeeded, but also how we can depict to you how you can succeed with all these incredible books. So I thank you for tuning in. And John, I thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Billy, that was a tremendous introduction. It sounds like I paid you to say all that stuff. I really appreciate it. And I can say the same thing for you. I've followed your content now for the past few years. Not as much as I should have, to be transparent.
Yeah.
And what I have seen, though, I'm very impressed by.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you're going to get tremendous energy. I can feel it just sitting in the room with Billy. We should have been recording the past hour, just the conversations that we had. So it's going to be a powerful message for you all. I hope you're ready to tune in.
Yep.
Today we are talking about the power of literature, being an autodidact, and how important self-education can be to an individual. So,
yeah, that's phenomenal. That's the entire message right there. So, in a lot of my messages, which you guys may have remembered, I depict a lot of these powerful things I've learned from reading, learned from mentors, learned from whatever. How have you been able to just absorb all these books? Because when talking to you, I can feel how much knowledge you've gained, and I can see it, but you put it into action. How do you go about that?
Sure. To quote directly from a book I'm reading now, it's called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Mm-hmm.
I think without even reading that book, when I started to go on my self-education journey about 3 years ago, I was present in the moment. So as we discussed before we turned the camera on, there are a lot of people who will pick a book up and then close it and not actually apply any of the knowledge they might have learned. I truthfully enjoy every word that I read.
Nice.
I don't have an issue with skipping over segments of a book and just truthfully dissecting what's going to be important for me, and just applying aspects that I do feel powerful about to my own life. So
that's awesome. Now, I find that as much as I love reading, there's a lot of distractions out there. And a lot of people get stuck watching TV, get stuck with video games, which are enjoyable, end of the day. But when you can really take that time away from that distraction and dedicate it to bettering yourself with a book, there's so much to absorb there. And, why I say that is I've been able to see John read numerous books from every walk of life, including, I mentioned to him before we put the video on, but I remember you reading an aviation book just because you thought it'd be cool to learn how to fly.
Exactly.
We can read about self-improvement stuff, you can better yourself, you can read about real estate, whatever it is, or you can just challenge yourself to learn something else.
Right.
So you with aviation, I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Because you're challenging yourself in so many ways that people sitting down watching the TV might not be able to do.
Right.
Or even think about.
Right.
Yeah.
I like what you brought up in terms of, how do you weed out the distractions?
Mm-hmm.
I do have Kindle. I've got my phone here, and I have the Kindle app on my phone. I have the Kindle app on my computer. But that versus a physical book, I don't have my text notifications, my email notifications, any of my social media.
Right.
So when I truthfully enjoy a physical copy of a book because I'll put this on airplane mode. I will use my computer. I take notes on every book like I'm in a class setting.
That's awesome.
But that way I can dial in and really enjoy the content.
Yeah, that's something right there too. Dialing in on the content, but you said, it is self-education.
Right.
And the way the world is becoming now, like I went to college, graduate high school, graduate college and everything. I can honestly say I've learned more after college because that's when it's on me.
Sure.
And I feel with so many incredible entrepreneurs, just successful people in the world, you got the Tony Robbins, you got Grant Cardone, you got all these incredible guys that did it on their own without necessarily going the standardized route. So when you're doing your self-knowledge and your absorption, you look at it as a class, like you just said, like you're taking notes on everything. How often does all of that information get to come out in a normal day?
Unfortunately, not enough.
Really?
Because a lot of people within my daily life simply don't know how to understand it, process it, or utilize it.
Yeah.
Having a conversation with you, I feel like our energy's been so great this afternoon because we both have that stairway mentality capacity.
Right.
We're going up. We have the ability to learn, grow from that material. And unfortunately out there, in just a lot of day-to-day conversation is mundane.
Yep.
It's, hey, how's the weather? Hey, the Red Sox played today.
Right.
So I really can't share a lot of this information.
Yeah.
I used to do it on social media, and it would actually get the least amount of viewership of any content I'd post.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have let that stop me, but just the way social media can be on your own psyche.
Yeah.
It truthfully was something where I just felt uncomfortable posting some of this stuff because it wasn't something that my audience necessarily interacted with as much at the time.
I get that. And that's the way of the world right now, where social media, like, dude, you look at TikTok, that's all dancing.
It is.
And I think it's hilarious half the time, but at the end of the day, it's like, are you on social media for pure enjoyment, which a lot of people are.
Right.
But then again, you type in something like entrepreneurship, you type in real estate, you type in whatever your interest is that you wish you could challenge yourself at, millions of things pops up.
It's there.
It's there, exactly. So for you to say like the viewership goes down, I believe it. Because not too many people now are trying to better themselves.
Right. And you've done content for 4 years.
Yep.
You know where you started, where you are now, what you may have posted, and you probably went through some of the same experiences I did.
100%. Yeah, exactly. There's always dips with everything that you, whether it's social media, whether it's anything else, there will always be a dip.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a high rise, there will be a dip and whatnot. And it's the people that say, screw it, and just keep going. And because like I keep mentioning to John, like he keeps asking about the very first few videos. I can go back and watch them, but it's embarrassing for me to go back and watch them because the speaking ability is just like, oh my goodness, I'm like screaming. And then now I can step in front of a camera and bang it out because I didn't quit.
Sure. This is this live practice, putting it on the website, getting honest feedback from your peers, maybe people that didn't know you, helped you transform, I'm assuming, each and every video to improve.
100%.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that in itself is another form of self-education because you're trying. You're challenging yourself. And that brings me to the next question on that. Since self-education is so big for you, how have you seen that grow you?
Leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah.
Billy and I had that prior conversation before this video talking about mentorship, starting immediately with, your parents. Then maybe your teachers, your close friends, but they're your peers at the same time. But they could be your mentors. You might look up to, some of your friends in some aspects. Then their family. Then you might have some television stars and some musicians that you listen to as a child. But outside that, what are your mentors? And some people read books from an early age and start to develop mentors. But that's where a lot of your learning comes from. From me, I realized I kind of took like a self-evaluation of what type of content I absorbed along within my actual real life, who I knew. Yeah. And I realized the places that I want to go, I didn't know the people that I needed to know to get me where I want to be.
That's right.
So, without having necessarily the physical present mentor in a room, they're right here in this book.
100%. I love that. I love that because if you didn't say it, I was going to say it because, a lot of people, they look at needing a mentor as in you need that person there, or this day and age you need that Zoom person there.
And it'd be great.
Oh my goodness, you could absorb so much. But when you realize these people have written a book and they just took everything and put it on a paper, all right, let me go spend $7.
Yeah.
Right. And like I absorb it. That's like a lot of stuff I've learned from these people that I wish I could talk to, and yet I kind of have because I've learned every word that they wrote down.
Right. If they were in the room, they would think, or someone else, third party, would think you might have held a conversation with them because we've actually retained the information from the books that we've read.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Right. These are my. I'm not a materialistic person. I actually have a book here. It's called Getting Rid of What You Have Not Already Got by Swami Mukanda.
Okay.
This isn't a philosophy that I've always lived by. It's something that I've come into being now that. My present self, what I have here is what's most important to me. Everything external doesn't necessarily matter, including even people in my life. They've come, they've gone. I love people, but it's just the reality of relationships.
Yeah, I get you.
My books, are my most prized possession.
That's awesome.
My place of being could burn down, and the only thing that I actually want to take out of there are my books.
That's phenomenal.
You can take everything from me, just don't take my books, because these are my keys to a new reality, basically.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's so much power within a book that has been so overlooked for the past, we're 27.
Right.
For the past, I can remember the book fair where they actually emphasize us going to get books. And then as you grow and you go through school and everything, it's like the reading kind of like goes away.
That summer reading list, remember we had it?
Yeah,
exactly. We stopped reading.
Exactly.
Or we read the one book and then we read it the day before school, and then we don't read it anymore.
100%.
Then we copy off our person next to us.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
But it's not emphasized anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And for you to say that, like, the one thing you wish you could take if you lost everything was the books.
Yeah. They mean so much to me.
Yeah.
They do.
No, exactly. The knowledge that you can gain from a book can, like you said, rebuild your life.
They can.
Even better.
Right.
So for you to want to take these, like, guys, take a look at the titles we have on the table right here, because these are, like, just talking with John, like, I've read a few of these. John's read all of them. A lot of them are so powerful, and if you take it and run with it, oh my goodness, that changes your life.
Right. And the cool thing is a lot of these books actually lead you into the next book. That's actually how I found them. I find the principle, I just dissect, and what I take out most of it, it's pretty much led me to the next book. And I think later in this chat, we're going to actually use some quotations from several of these on the table, and we'll try and tie them into each piece of literature. A lot of them have a lot of same underlying tones to them, which, in my opinion, I think could be extremely beneficial to any listener's life.
Oh yeah, that 100%, 100%. Honestly, that being said, let's dive into the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you have in mind? We've shared some notes back and forth. Which one are you interested in talking about?
So the first one you sent me really sparked me. It was The Way to Love. I believe it's right on top right here.
Great.
Right?
This is by Anthony DeMello. Are you familiar with Wayne Dyer? He used to be on the PBS.
Yep, he's awesome.
Yeah, I actually don't have any of his literature, but I have several of his audio recordings in my phone.
Okay.
There was a 10-minute segment. I'm huge on affirmations and positive self-talk. This was obviously external. For about a 6-month period, I would listen to a 10-minute clip of one of Wayne Dyer's lectures.
Cool.
And he actually, I think, in within that clip, did reference this book.
Okay.
And then as I heard it, I almost could recite the whole thing.
Nice.
And I was like, I got to go check out the book too, because if this lecture is so important to me, he's even pulling information from certain sources. Yeah. So, that's where I got this book.
No, 100%. And like, I love Wayne Dyer. I think he's phenomenal.
God, R.I.P. He's a wonderful person. His energy, you could just feel, you can hear it in his words, even though he's not hearing it.
Oh my goodness, 100%.
Yeah.
With this book, The Way to Love, one thing that stuck out to me that you sent over to me is it never occurs to people to see their beliefs as false.
Correct.
I think that's so powerful right there, because we all want so much control in our life, right? We all want to be have it and take it exactly where we want it to. And some of us are brought up that way. Some of us are just learned that way throughout time. And that causes complications as you get older. If we have these certain beliefs that we have, and we keep hitting walls, or we keep causing people harm, or whatever it may be, do you ever question yourself as am I doing it the right way?
All the time.
Right?
Yeah, you said you studied psychology at Bridgewater State, so you're well familiar with the ego.
Yep.
A lot of people, have a difficulty, rationalizing that they could be wrong due to the ego and their desire to always be right, or within a room to not, to lose their control, with the individuals that they may be talking to, or even to themselves.
Yeah.
You only know what you know, and sometimes you might not even know that you're wrong.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of self-actualization to step back, be able to analyze your own thoughts. Is what I believe actually true? And truth can be relative.
Yeah, exactly.
The history is written by the winners, but there's also a loser's side to the story as well. Obviously, you have mathematics and science where there might actually be some scientific or factual elements to truth, but a lot of truth is just relative.
Yeah.
What is your own truth? Everyone has their own truths and their own beliefs.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's powerful right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It rings in my head too. Pride. It goes with the ego.
Big.
Pride. Pride will trip you up, and I think the saying that was always told to me is pride comes before the fall. And if you think about it, if you're an extremely prideful person where it's like, it's my way or the highway and I'm not going to let anyone else in on that, you know, where does your life get to with that? And, you know, you may push people away from that. And I think we said it earlier, it's like you get to a point where you have no one around you. Yes, you may have achieved everything you wanted.
Right.
And yet you're lonely and you can't experience the joy of having what you created for yourself.
Correct.
Because you push everyone away.
Right.
Where your beliefs wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that segment up because we have a book on the table
Nice.
that directly talks about that line.
Go for it.
It is Leo Tolstoy, The Death of Ivan Ilyich.
Nice.
I want to find where it is here. It's one of the smaller books. I think it's on page 93 if you pick up the book. Something on near the end of it. Basically, this is a very successful businessman.
Okay.
And he's going through some physical ailments near the end of his life where he becomes bedridden. And everyone who you would expect to be close to him, his family, his quote-unquote friends, which were pretty much his business partners, all weren't there for him as he was dying. The only person who was bedside was his accountant.
Okay.
And he essentially has a near-death experience where he thinks right before he dies, you know, what if my entire life has been wrong? Which is what you were just talking about.
Exactly.
In my affirmations every morning, I do ask myself that question, and I would absolutely say the majority of things I used to believe were wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of things I still believe are wrong because I don't know better until I see the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah,
that's so
it's tough to admit it to a public audience, but of course I'm not right about a lot of things. You know, a lot of it's just the limitations to what I've been exposed to.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool thing is, like you say, it's tough to admit it to a public audience. That's you putting your pride and pushing it aside.
Yeah.
You know, that's you taking your ego and shaving it down.
Right.
Where you can say like, hey, you know, this is me. I made mistakes
All the time.
but it made you who you are now.
Yeah.
With a better mindset that was going to take you further.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that book right there, I think is so powerful. The Way to Love.
Yeah.
And everything about that. Like there's other quotes that you gave me too on that book.
Yeah.
But I think that one about beliefs.
That's what stuck to you?
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Right.
Yeah.
Tolle in the 10th century, Wayne Dwyer, in that talk also talks about it. Have a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. That's a quote from Tolle in the 10th century.
I've heard Wayne Dyer say it so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I recommend this book, guys. I really do. And I'm probably, as I can honestly say, I don't have it, but I will honestly be picking that one up.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, you can have it if
Yeah,
you like.
you go, right?
Here's my gift to you at the end of the meeting. So.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Cool. Moving on to the
Right?
next segment.
Nah, like honestly, we'll keep it going. That's some
Okay.
power right there. The next one you sent me over that I thought was awesome is With Winning in Mind.
Yes, Larry Basham. It has a sports tonage to it. I'm assuming
Nice.
we're big into fitness, exercise. We love our sports. So if you have that element to you, you might love this book as well.
Yeah.
It basically talks about creating a winning mindset within your daily life, but utilizing a lot of sports concepts to create his big picture.
Yeah, exactly. And then the thing that stuck out to me, which I think I've heard throughout time, and this could be where someone really sparked from it, everything's basically 90% mental.
It is.
Right?
Give or take, that's just a thrown out figure, but it's just the concept of it, you know.
It's true. And I connected that to my my life coaching trainings with Tony Robbins. And one thing that we used to try and learn to help our clients out is when we're struggling with something, or we could come back to physical fitness, just as that book's about, you know, a lot of us think, oh, my body needs to do this, my body needs to do this. Your body doesn't lead the mind leads the body. So coming back to the fact that everything's 90% mental, what this has the power to do can fix this in so many different ways.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with the mind, body, and depending upon your viewpoints, the soul connection.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of see them necessarily as separate entities, but they all are interconnected with one another.
So
and when you can get those to function as, if you're using a machine analogy, if you get them to function properly, think of how much better that machine can perform versus one of the three departments not working well.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's powerful right there, and I agree to it. I think it's crazy to see how intertwined life is, but it's even crazier to see how many people overlook that. You know, and like we said, like both of us are really big into fitness. Yes. I've learned so much nutrient stuff from just observing John's social media accounts that I tell him about. I'm on a much better health kick because of the stuff that he's put out there.
Appreciate that.
No, you know your stuff, and like.
Well, I was a personal trainer, so I dropped out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I went to UMass Amherst. I changed my major 4 different times.
Yep.
I think I could do 10 different. I could do any major I want to do. That's just my own, my power of my own belief.
Yep.
I studied kinesiology, public health, political science, and then legal studies. I do love government and law, but I was huge into fitness.
Yeah.
I was a personal trainer, spinning instructor, TRX instructor.
Nice.
I got promoted to 6 different departments for UMass Amherst.
That's awesome.
Was going to be the assistant strength and conditioning coach to the
Wow.
football team, but I partied too much.
Okay.
So I had to be there at 5 a.m, and that wasn't happening.
Gotcha.
So I threw that opportunity out the window. It wasn't meant for me.
Yep.
Love exercise and fitness. It's an outlet for me.
Yeah.
I've certainly struggled at times in my life, not now, but with depression.
Yep.
This is before I was into my literature. I
Yep.
really didn't have that mind-body
Right.
spiritual connection.
Yep.
And the exercise in the gym was big for me then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, no, I completely agree with that. And just to see how far you've come from that.
Yeah.
It started out the fitness aspect, building your body. That was like your foundation,
Right.
your groundwork. That's something you could hold on to. Like you said, you battled depression,
Right.
but you had an outlet.
Absolutely.
You had something to hold on to, and then that led you to improving other aspects of your life
Right.
through reading, through spirituality, as you said, the mind, body, and soul. That's huge right there. And not too many people look at the power of the mind, the power of the body, the power of the soul, and how they're intertwined.
My analogy is I view it this way. That book is just like a barbell for my mind.
Oh, yeah.
So sure, I work my body out,
Yeah.
but my mind is what's really going to carry me through life.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make money off my body even, I need my mind and the power of my mind to do it. So I utilize those books to strengthen my mind.
Yeah, it's true. Like you got to take your mind to the gym,
Yeah.
right? You got to learn. You got
You
to
do.
keep learning. Like
Absolutely.
And I think that's such a huge factor to, truly elongating your life. A lot of people, they I get to visit a lot of people, whether it's an elderly person or a kid for that matter, and some people just sleep in, they're dozing off and everything. But you realize after talking to them, their mind, they're not intriguing themselves anymore.
Yeah.
But when you can get your mind jogging,
Right.
oh my goodness, when you're learning more, it just creates more
Right.
life into you.
Right.
It's crazy.
The example of that type of person you just described, Billy, you know how much is out there in this world.
Yep.
I just don't see how people get into that entrapment with themselves, because there is so many opportunities for you to kind of just close off to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate,
It is.
because you
Yeah.
have endless opportunities.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a situation where your freedoms have been stripped from you.
Right.
And yeah.
No, exactly. And that connects even more so to the first book we talked about with ego.
Right.
Because if you think about it, how people get into that state is because terrible things could happen to them. You know, their life may not be where they want it to be. And they focus on that so much, and because they focus on the negativity, their life becomes negative.
Right.
They sink and whatnot. And when you can shave that ego down, you can really take a step back and say to yourself, all right, this is in my hands. Am I going to sit here and mope, or am I going to get up and do something?
Right.
And that's tough for people. I've worked with people that is very tough for people. But when you can take one of these books, take what John has done, because John broke free from that, I broke free from that, and the momentum that's calm, the energy that's calm, it's, oh my goodness, it sets the tone.
I love that you said that, because now I'm going to intertwine 2 books.
Good.
The energy and the momentum
Nice.
is the compound effect. Doing something, positive repetition each and every day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little curve, and then it's exponential growth.
Yeah.
So it's quantum leaping, essentially.
Nice.
You start to see little subtlety and changes with the routine adjustments that you make every day, and eventually doing those positive reinforcements and those positive things for your life just have a profound effect. And it's like an airplane taking off on the highway. So definitely the compound effect. That's by Darren Hardy. It's definitely a book that I would recommend. And you were talking about people and their ego being stuck in the past.
Yep.
Reminds me of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Nice.
The only moment that Billy has that I have is the moment we're sitting here together. Everything else is a distant memory.
Exactly.
It happened. We can still think about it to maybe make adjustments and not do the rat race, run in circles forever.
Yeah.
But it can't be changed.
Exactly.
You know, you can't feel bad about thing that happened last week because it really, it's gone. The only person who knows about it now is in your head.
Exactly.
But we do have this moment. We're currently in it.
Right.
That circumstance last week only affects this moment if you want it to.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you make it whatever you want to
Yeah.
be. And so Eckhart Tolle really talks about the power of now and just being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Also a great component in there, which I shared in the notes, was
Yep.
the ability to analyze your own thoughts. Like currently right now, Billy, you have thoughts in your head. I have thoughts in my head. If we quiet the room as we just did now and internalize our thoughts and evaluate what you're thinking about, you realize there's more in the mind than that current thought.
Definitely.
And you can kind of separate yourself from what you're thinking. And what if my whole life has been wrong? I can evaluate my life and my thoughts. And so there's a lot of power to the now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love the power of now, the power of the moment, seizing the moment.
Yeah.
Like, what does that truly mean for you guys? And, you know, the example you gave, John, of just, you know, our past, like, our past are past. You know, all we really have is right now. It's funny you bring that up. I had a session with a client yesterday, incredible teenage kid or whatever, but he's got, you know, he's got frustrations, you know, and he, like, could let it out, emotion regulation, it goes on to people, and he's working on it. But we had a great conversation yesterday, and that truly was the basis of it. Where I'm explaining, like, Bud, like, you can't go backwards or whatever. You can't fix those things. All you have is right now and focus on it. And I was, all right, so I got to focus on the moment. It's like, yes, Bud, but you think about it, you're past right now. Meaning you can learn from that, you can fix that, you can try to better your future, but at the end of the day, all you have is a decision you have in this very moment.
Yeah.
And what you do now is, do I next time something like that comes and I get frustrated, do I respond the same way and repeat my past? Or do I respond differently and create a better future?
I hope he takes your words and runs with it.
Goodness, I think he's going to.
Yeah.
You could feel, like, I love those great conversations you have with people where you can feel them absorbing everything, and that's why I love working with these clients, no matter how young, no matter how old. Those moments where someone really is like a sponge, it's like, you know that they're going to take that and change their life.
Right.
Those are the best moments of life coaching, of mentoring, of speaking to people on stage, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Billy's a life coach. If you guys are having anything you need to talk about, I'd recommend speaking to this gentleman. He'll help you through it.
I appreciate it. I'm always open, guys. I'll put my link at the end of this.
Wonderful.
Awesome. But another book you had on here that I really want to talk about, because this author has been in the news a lot. He's been all over social media. David Goggins.
Can't hurt me.
Yeah.
This man, a lot of us in our generation love the social media. He's got sweatpants, sweatshirt. He's running 200 miles in the desert. We don't necessarily make the recommendation that you guys need to go run the 200 miles to become, you know, and shake everything you've ever needed to in your life.
Yeah.
But this man is powerful. He dropped, I think, 100 give or take 100 something pounds in about a 3-month process to make the Marines.
Yep.
Failed a bunch of different times. Was kicked out of the Marine, entry level training program. But it did change his life because he realized he needed structure.
Yeah.
And it created a extremely driven, focused mind.
Yeah.
And that's why the title of his book is called "You Can't Hurt Me." Being an African American man, he talked about a lot of deep racism issues he dealt with as a young child, and how that really haunted him. But he eliminated the power of the past and created the power of the present to fuel the strength of which he has now.
Yeah. He's an incredible motivator. Incredible motivator.
Yes. This is the book. It's called "Can't Hurt Me." David Goggins.
Yeah. He's I highly recommend that one, guys. That's been like I said, that's been on the news. That's been on the morning shows and whatnot. He has so much power in that book because of his own life experience. And as John just explained right there, like, some of what he's been through, and it really put him on a better path. And I want to take that and kind of give it to you guys, where whatever your story is, whatever your experiences are, no matter how low you've been, no matter how high up you've been in just trying to better your life, it's going to get used for the better if you take hold of it and use it. David Goggins took a step back, realized, like, I got to bring structure into my life because it's not there, and he wanted to reach his goals. That being said, you guys, what are your goals? Is there structure? If there is structure, how can you get that to the next level? If there's no structure, all right, is this the moment where someone's telling you directly, hey man, let's fix this, you know?
Right.
It's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
On the just the underlying element of thematics, with the Larry Basham winning in mind, David Goggins has a lot of similar concepts to that. There was some underlines here I had that he says in his 3rd chapter, I was a prisoner of my own mind. the only way for me to change was to be real with myself. And then in the 4th chapter, he talks about everything in my life is a mind game. So he really sees the power of his own mind and honing in, eliminating all that noise.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like the prison of your own mind.
It's true.
At the end of the day,
you can be in prison without actually being in prison.
At the end of the day, who holds the key?
Right. He says here at the end, his last chapter, at my lowest point, I found clarity. And we talked about that. It took some of our lowest moments in our life to bring us to where we currently are.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why everything that right there, that little moment about David Goggins, guys, is that you? You know, say you're watching this and you're at your lowest moment right now. Is this the message you needed to hear where it's like, all right, I hold the key to my mind. Let's unlock the door and just step into something new, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Without knowing the audience, I believe in our audience, that they can achieve whatever their mind and their heart desire, but they have to be truthfully ready to put themselves into the position to fail in order to achieve it. And success is only internal. You can't let society tell you what your own success is going to be. Billy's success is going to be different from my success. Success doesn't have to be materialism or title status within a job or a business that you own. It's whatever you truthfully want your own success to be. And it's true, you can achieve that success if you're open to it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's why we want to present this stuff to you guys, because every single one of these books is going to help you every step of the way with that personal success for whatever you're searching for. Like John said, it's different for everyone, but what it means for you, one of these books on the table right now might be the missing piece of the puzzle that sparks you. And at the end of the day, that's going to build you up and strengthen you in such a way that whatever comes next, it's not going to knock you down.
Right.
Yeah.
And it might not be books. You might have a completely different avenue. It might be general education, going and getting an undergraduate degree, master's, doctorate degree. You might find your enlightenment on top of a mountain. You might find it watching a YouTube channel. You might actually have the mentor in your life. There are so many different avenues, but just be open to it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. Let's get one more book in there.
Great. Which one are you thinking?
So you said, I was going to ask, I think you mentioned already the active side of infinity and the 4 agreements.
I don't think we talked about active side of infinity. I'll make it quick 30 seconds.
No, run with it.
This one is my favorite quotation from it. I say this in my affirmations in the morning. It's by Carlos Castaneda. It depends upon how you want to look at the book. You could look at it as fictional. You could look at it as some elements of truth. There's some spiritual side to it.
Nice.
Kind of talking about like shamans and just like more power with nature.
Okay.
But he talks about erasing your personal history, which is a similar tone to what if my whole life has been wrong.
Yeah.
And then talking about people with their past and the present. I just erased it. It is what it is. I'm here now. A lot of people try and ask for my life story. I don't really need to get into it. Like, I'm here in the moment. I can teach some people or want some people to not make the same mistakes I did. But just erase it. Just live in the now.
Yeah. No, that's phenomenal. I think that book, like you said, that's a powerful book.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Like every one of these ones is powerful, but every single one comes back to the point that it's like, it's on you.
Yes.
Right. Whether you're someone, like John just said, whether you're someone that truly dives into a book and absorbs everything you can of it, whether you're someone that learns that through an undergrad or just a school in general, or a YouTube channel, like John just said, like he depicted that in such a perfect way, guys, but that's true. Right. It's very powerful.
Yeah. I think the next one you probably want to talk about is the 4 agreements.
Yeah, exactly.
We're from New England, and a lot of us really, even though he's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now, Tom Brady was a big guy that we supported for a long time.
Yeah.
He quoted the 4 agreements were one of the more influential pieces of literature that inspired him.
Nice.
It wasn't that article that got me to read the book, but I think the person who told me to read the book also said, hey, check this out. And I was like, oh, Tom Brady is a big supporter. I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
There's 4 agreements in there. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally.
Okay.
Always do your best. And don't assume anything. Again, those are very powerful messages. Be impeccable with your word. Hey, Billy, I'll be here at 1:30, so I show up at 1:27.
Right? Yeah.
Always do your best. We are taking this conversation and running with it to the best of our ability.
Exactly.
Don't assume anything. Your mind plays a lot of mind games, which we're talking about, and over 90% of the things we believe are wrong. So just don't even make assumptions. Just try and live in the present and go with what happens.
Yeah.
And then and then don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
If someone honks at you or gives you the middle finger, it's because they're having a bad day. It's not because you're having a bad day. Don't let their middle finger make you have a bad day.
No, 100%. Exactly.
Those are some examples for me.
No, it's true,
for each
though.
thing.
It's so true. And I love how you have that at the ready. I love how that's.
And this is not scripted, by the way.
Yeah.
We're ready 24/7.
Yeah.
So we're coming at you.
Exactly. But I know it's true, though. I love, like, you've absorbed so much from these incredible books that whether it's someone watching right now, whether it's talking with me, whether it's someone that you meet in the gym or someone wherever you are, the grocery line, whatever, and you're able to pull this out and give it to them if that opportunity rises.
Because it's real. It's real.
Exactly.
You know, you'll have a conversation with someone, Billy,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, or that's an answer. I'm nodding your head.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid to say I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're bringing this subject to you because we've actually studied it. Like, I am confident to stand behind this lecture 1,000%.
Yeah.
I can't tell you I know about anything doctor related because I've never done that field.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, if you tell me you're doctor, okay, blah, blah, blah. But you've no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just not afraid to ask, like, hey, Billy, I don't know. Can you explain that experience to me or whatnot?
Yeah.
And then try and retain it.
Exactly.
Because if you don't ask those open-ended questions, you're never going to learn things you don't know.
Yeah. And that comes back to the pride thing.
Yeah.
You can sacrifice your pride and say, like, hey, man, I don't know. I love it when a client tells me that they don't know something. Because when you don't know something, you're about to learn something new.
Yes.
Right?
You're open to it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But you need to sacrifice that pride and be like, hey, you know what? This is me. I don't know. And that allows you to learn more in that moment.
Right.
It's powerful.
Right.
Powerful. And then the cool thing is, like, this entire message was about reading, guys. This entire message was about books and trying to show you how much power is there and how much self-knowledge, self-learning can take for you. If it's tough for you to tell someone or ask someone a question because you feel embarrassed, you don't want to put yourself out there, you can go to a Barnes & Noble and, hey, you buy a book, that's you asking the question. All right, I'm going to learn everything I can right there. You can sacrifice your embarrassment right there if that's your problem, your anxiety, your worry, and no one's going to judge you, and you're just going to learn, and you're going to grow with that.
Right.
It's huge.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know, can you teach me? Because men and women out there love to teach what they know. We just talked about Active Side of Infinity on the 3rd page of the book. The goal of man is to mentor or find someone with your energy. This is the constant search for succession.
Yeah.
The majority of people, if you ask, are willing to share things with you because there's enough space within the world to have, to bring another person into success.
Yeah.
It's not going to infringe upon their business that much where.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's unlimited. And what you just said about the mentor aspect is huge right there.
Yeah.
And before, we can make this the last piece of the video, but before we put the video on, guys, John and I had a great conversation about mentorship and everything, because when you're younger, it's your parents.
Right.
And then it could be your teachers. And then as you're growing and whatnot, you may have physical people there, but at the end of the day, if you're looking at David Goggins, if you're looking up to someone that's literally, he's at the top of the line right there, I can't call him. I can't message him. If I get lucky, he could respond to me on social media, but I could go to his book, and that became a mentor. Because I'm learning everything that's in his head that he put on the paper that he thought someone could benefit from, and I'm absorbing that. He just became my mentor without me actually having to shake his hand.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Exactly. But John, I appreciate you being here, dude. I think this entire message was it was powerful from the get-go. Before we even turned the video on.
Oh, it was. I could just feel the radiation in
right.
the room,
Exactly. Yeah. The positivity is flying.
Right.
But I really appreciate you being here. Is there any lasting messages that you want to leave for them?
Absolutely. If any of you guys out there are successful, want to mentor us, we'll take it.
Exactly.
Billy and I are open to the opportunity. And likewise, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to comment below. This is going to get posted on YouTube, so I'm assuming in the comment section. Billy and I both have Instagrams and other forms of social media. Don't feel like you can't reach out to us. We might not be able to answer immediately, but it's not because we're ignoring your message, and we'll try to respond the best way that we can.
Exactly.
If you think we might have some knowledge that could help you, we'd love to share it. So
100%. 100%.
That's probably my lasting message.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Guys, I thank you so much for tuning in today. Like John just said, at the end of the video, I'm going to put our links there. If this sparks you for something and you want to ask John about it, I'm going to put his Instagram right there. You can reach right out to him. Also, like I said at the start of this video, he is an incredible personal trainer. He's helped me just on his post about nutrition. And I've seen how he's impacted other people with that nutrition aspect, helping them achieve goals in the gym. If that's something that you get from this video and it wasn't the reading thing, reach out to John, and I can guarantee you he's going to be there for you and he's going to help you with your fitness goals.
Glad you mentioned that.
Yep.
Not necessarily money related too. I have all the certifications, but I don't do it really for income.
Yeah.
It's not my source of income, but I certainly will share that information to help change if you need it.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. Name of the game is helping people.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. But guys, like this message on YouTube so we can share it to more people. If this impacted you, or it could impact someone that you know, if someone popped into your head when we were doing this, share it directly to them. There's a reason that person popped into your head, and it's meant to give this message to them. And then lastly, guys, please hit that subscribe button below. We want to get that number up so we can share it to as many people as possible. And if you or someone you know is in need of a life coach, go to billygLifecoaching.com. And as John just said, I'll be right there for you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. John, incredible message.
It was fantastic, man. I look forward to it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving